Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. Hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday. The weekend is here. I know it's usually Premier League week. It's usually Premier League day on Saturday, but this time around, we have to wait for Finland and Bosnia's games later on today, which is not our cup of tea. So we are here to talk about Arsenal, something that excites us for once. So we'll be talking about a lot today. We'll be covering a lot. The first one we'll be covering is Celik of Lille, the right back at Lille. Is he the guy who will finally join Arsenal and unlock NICOLAS Pepe? We have heard about Paul Pogba and United signing players to unlock Paul Pogba. Is it NICOLAS Pepe's time this time round? We'll also be discussing Raheem Sterling. Could he be the guy to replace Pepe if Pepe doesn't stick around until the start of next season? We'll also be discussing Martinelli. Obviously, his game time has been really limited. So should he be going out on loan in January? Should he stick with us until the end of the season? Will he leave the Arsenal by the end of the season? We will have to wait and see. And also, we'll be talking about a bit of Ben White. How good has he been this season? And also a bit of Arteta and all that, basically. So if you're watching this on replay, the timestamps will be in the description to help you navigate through the video. But before that, let me introduce my guest, Cozy. How are you this Saturday?
I'm brilliant, bro. I'm still doing well. Actually, I think health-wise, mentally, I'm fine. My own problem is is the lack of football. Look, no disrespect to AFCON, no disrespect to international friendlies, no disrespect to qualifiers. We get to see multiple talents actually, at the same time as people who do transfers and analyze players joining teams. It gives us that kind of advantage to see players. Especially yesterday, I was watching Zakaria, and I was like, okay, this is it. This is what he would provide if if you join Arsenal. Maybe he's good he's good enough. But look, without football, without Premier League, without the Champions League, it's so boring. The weekend is so boring, right? You just miss that kind of anticipation for the Champions League, and just miss that kind of craziness that comes with all this Premier League. But anyway, it's just now what, 7 or 8 days. We are going to dive into previews starting Monday, Liverpool previews. So look, I'll get through it. I'm mentally strong.
And from there, it's consistent football after every 2 days until January, basically at the end of January. So it's good to be looking forward to that. So as always, make sure to hit the like button as we get started. Make sure to subscribe on the road to 10,000. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure to follow the page as well. I think you're almost at about 6,000. The last point is I've put a poll in the chat on YouTube and I've asked, would you be happy with Sterling replacing Pepe? The first option is yes, let's buy Sterling, and second is no, let's keep Pepe. So make sure to vote and let us know your answer. So decision, where to start? I'm thinking let's start with the players we've been targeted with. So I don't know how to say his name. I know it's Turkish, so it could be Zeki Celik, something like that. It's like the Soyunchus of this world and those kind of names. He's a right back who plays for Lille. He obviously played with NICOLAS Pepe back in the Lille days, and they played very well together. So before I even come to Celik, I'm going to ask you about the right back situation at Arsenal, Cozy. Do you actually think Pepe last season struggled because he didn't have anyone nice to play behind him? Was that a main reason? Was that so good of a reason to give Pepe that he did not have a good right back behind him?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's again, the flanks are more of a partnership, and you know me, I'm one person who believes that partnerships are all about compromise and understanding each other, and helping each other, strength and weaknesses, things like that. And flanks are also like that. If you have a good right back, definitely, he can help you as a winger, he can help you as a forward man. But for me, Nicola Pepe, yeah, we might we might say that. Because even with Tomiyasu coming in, I don't feel like Tomiyasu really offers much going forward. Like, he doesn't really go to the, all the way, to the end of the pitch. Maybe giving the winger time to get inside and things like that. But Pepe, for me, no. We've seen players like Saka last season consistently performing at a high level. And I'm gonna say this: Saka's played. Last season, Saka played on both flanks. There was a time when he played on the left hand side of the pitch, and Pepe played on the right. And we said no, they should be used as inverted players. They should be used as inverted wingers, right? So Pepe was brought down the left, and Pepe brought taken to the right. Where I think actually Saka brought to the right. Where I think he does very well with his left foot. Nicolas Pepe, by the end of the season, he was actually doing well. Now, of course, we came up with a couple of explanations. He's finally found his his feet. He's finally found found out what he needs to do. And the other reason was Callum Chambers. Chambers in the last 5-6 games of the season, because he came in, at the end of the season. There's a way he added something different, to that right flank at Arsenal. Because remember, we were really attacking so much using the left flank, and literally the right flank was not actually providing anything. So Chambers coming in, it was more like But look, for me, Pepe has played on both flanks. He's played with Kian Tierney. Tierney is a decent left back. He would support any player who plays, whether it's Mo Salah, whether it is Martinelli. If you're playing with Kian Tierney down that side, we saw him with Aubameyang. Many goals were coming down the left hand side of the pitch. Obviously, one of the reasons was Ceballos was tilting the pitch down to the left. But I don't feel like Pepe has more credit in the bank to bail himself out, apart from good performances. If he can't put them in, no. For me, no. We can't sign in anyone, or we can't actually blame anyone for Pepe's failures. It is his failure. I'm looking at his attitude, his bossy attitude. I don't know what he's boasting about. Look, what are you boasting about? You are one of the least performing players in the Premier League. You're on the list of overrated. You're in the list of overpriced. You're on every
unwanted list, basically. Yeah.
Unwanted list, basically, and you're busting around like took free kicks. I think in the Europa League, that was the end. No, look, Glenn. No, he's he's good at finishing. That one I can't take it away from him. Last season he got double figures, and I think he's so good in front of goal. It doesn't quake. When it comes to finishing. Yeah, maybe if we can find another role for him, maybe false nine, maybe try him as a 9. Maybe Arsene Wenger could have tried him as a 9, because remember, Yao Javino. There's a time when we tried him as a 9, and look, he missed chances like rain, right?
I remember those days very well, very well. I think against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, he played up front with one pass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so look, for me, Pepe, no. We don't blame anyone. We don't blame any right backs for his poor performances. I think if it is figuring it out, he's got to figure it out himself.
Very, very good point. So we've seen Manchester United doing this, as I mentioned in the intro, very, very many times. They brought in Fred to unlock Pogba, and then they were like, next we'll bring in Matic to unlock Pogba. Maybe Bruno Fernandes will allow Pogba to be more skillful, whatever it was. They've done that so many times. So with Pepe, we've already signed in probably Cedric and Tomiyasu after him to help him out on the right wing, which hasn't worked. So we'll come back to Pepe later on in this video, and you're talking about Sterling. That's not the last you'll hear about Pepe. So let's talk about the actual player, Celik. So he's born in 1997, 24 years of age, I reckon, and almost turning 25. What do you think of him as a player? Do you think we really need a backup right back right now?
At the moment, not a big pressing priority. I'm gonna say this because you have Chambers. I mean, you've got to be very skeptical when you play him, but he can come in for 1 or 2 games if Tomiyasu is injured or probably out. And then you have Cedric, who can also do that. You have Ainsley, who can also be there, in that area. So look, I love Celik as a player. Last summer, I did a lot of research on right backs, Rido Baku, Zeki Celik, the likes of Doku. Is he called the Belgian boy? Doku with his Max Aarons, and I was really impressed by a couple of them. Celik is one of them that really impressed me. He had a very, very good campaign last season when they were winning the title with Leo. But like you said, he's 24, right? One, if you're bringing in a 24, old player, to be an understudy to Tomiyasu, who is the manager's favorite at the moment, players' favorite, and fans' favorite, it doesn't really work out. So, and actually, I'm looking at it in the lens, or from the lens that if Arsenal are going to go to bring up, to bring back, or to bring in an understudy to Tomiyasu, it's going to be someone 19, 20, and below, right? 19, 20, and below. But Celik, one thing I would, I would take, and I don't know if many Arsenal fans would agree with me on this, but I think Tomiyasu is young. How old is he? 21, 22?
22.
22. If you brought in some level of competition in that area, because at the end of the day, we want to be competing at the highest level. Look at City. They have where they have Cancelo, they would have had a Benjamin Mendy, who's also very, very explosive, as a player. Where they have Kyle Walker, I think they have this Ukrainian man, usually Zichenko, right? Yeah, and look, if Zichenko is on his right day, you're gonna suffer because it's also very explosive. So look, we need to compete at that high level. So if Zeki Celik comes in, right? Because the big problem now is if you bring him in, does he allow to sit on the bench? Or if he doesn't allow to sit on the bench, wait for Tomiyasu. Can we, probably keep Tomiyasu for Europa League, FA Cup? Because look, I believe this season we might make it to top 4. Top 6. We might. Top 4 is unrealistic, but top 6 we might if we if we keep on improving and improving. So if we can get Europa League, maybe it's easy to interchange players and give them game time. But at the moment, like in January, I wouldn't go for a right back. Arsenal take lots of time to sign one player. So if you go for a right back, that means we could miss out on a midfielder who I think is very, very essential, and a striker. But look, let's talk about it in a selfish manner. I'll take Celik and I'll keep Tomiyasu as well, right? Get that competition in, right? Make sure that you have two very right backs, because Celik is good going forward, and that is what Tomiyasu needs to learn, right? I don't know when he's going to learn it, or it's going to take a year. Is it going to take 2 seasons, or he's like that? Because at least we know he's predominantly built as a center back, right? And that's why you see that his heat maps actually are so concentrated from the center line coming back to our own side, which is not a problem, depending on the fact that Mikel Arteta loves defensive discipline, and he loves defensive cleanliness, right? So it just gives Mikel Arteta that extra player to cover for Ben White when he goes away. So Tomiyasu, Lokonga, and Gabriel are literally our number 6. So it's difficult for you to get us on the break, and destroy us, completely if they are there. So literally, we don't play a very, very, bad high line, right? And you've not seen us being exposed when Tomiyasu, is at right back than when Nuno Tavares is playing at left back. I think you can see the difference. But I'll take Zeki Celik for one reason. He's good at going forward. Modern football, you need your fullbacks, and we've said this on your channel so many times. Modern football, you need modern fullbacks. You need good fullbacks. Look at Bissaka. He was praised. Is it 45 million? Is it 50 million from Crystal Palace? 50 million. He was praised because of his defensive tackles and being very, very strong defensively. But the question is, in modern football, if you do not provide enough going forward as a fullback, you're never going to be enough. You will never be enough. It's the same thing you've seen with Luke Shaw in the Euros. Absolutely good going forward. And what? They said Shobato. They compared him to Roberto Carlos, right? So the moment you kill your game in the final third, of the game of the pitch, as a fullback, you're never gonna be enough in modern football. So Celik, that's the reason as why I would take him, and probably hope that as Tomiyasu lands, we get him to also be a little bit more progressive. I don't have a problem with Tomiyasu being defensively strong because it's been a liability. His position has been a liability for half a decade. Bellerin, my God. You have the likes of Chambers, who look. I think Niles does not, Niles does not find where he plays, but this confusion of Chambers is a full, is a fullback, he's a centre back as well. But look, I think we've really suffered in that area. I think the last player that played there, I remember, was it Bakali Sanya? The one we can say that because the Bucci coming in, no. The Bucci, no, didn't do the job. I think it was
Steiner.
Let's just come on,
Painful memories. I think Sanya did well. I think Sanya did well in that position for years as well, 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he was in that area and we forgot about it. But again, what Sanya had is he was really, really defensive, but he could bring in 2-3 accurate crosses for Van Persie occasionally, right? At least per 90. Give us 2 good crosses. My problem with Tomiyasu is when he comes forward, the output is not that good, and he rarely comes forward. So look, Saka might be enjoying it because he's using the flanks to write himself as a statement talent. But I think he will definitely need the support. So I'll take Celik and hope that Tomiyasu gets better and reinforce the idea of competitiveness.
I think Tomiyasu is not really perfected because he plays right back and centre back. I think he actually plays 60% centre back more than right back. In his country, for Japan, he plays centre back totally, and for Bologna, he used to play centre back. So I don't think he's perfected going forward.
Yeah. I think he's used the idea of a back three. That is what he's used. Actually, when we were signing him, most of the reports that I looked at, scout reports and all the data, were actually fronting him as a very good player if Mikel Arteta wanted to play a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3, in which case he loved so much, right? So he's more of that player who's used to playing at a back three, in a back three with some explosive player playing as a right wing midfielder, right? But at the moment, we don't have that. He's playing in a back four, strictly. And look, he's playing in a back four. On his side, is Abasab Lekonga, right? Who is not as as Thomas Partey again in ball distribution and being quick. Maybe the end, who is Saka. Provides them with something with something different. But you look at the left, where you have the ball coming in from. Nuno or Tiani, then it goes through Partey. There's a lot of speed there. Then it goes to Emile Smith Rowe. There's a lot of speed there. There's a lot of talent there and creativity down the left than on the right. But look, I got no problem. And this is what I said with Mikel, but that if we want to do a young project, these young players need to learn so many things because managers do add things to players. Like Sterling's finishing was a little bit, helped upon by Pep, despite the fact that he missed that goal against Lyon. I'll never forget it. That chance against Lyon, I'll never forget it. So look at Klopp and what he's done with Roberto Firmino, right? I've already said that there are not so many managers who could use Roberto Firmino and get the same results like Klopp has done. Look, they're there, but not so many of them. So if you look at managers helping players, especially the young talent, is Mikel Arteta, does he have the pedigree in the bank to help the likes of Tomiyasu better their game going forward, to help the likes of Nuno Tavares better their game defensive-wise? There's a big question. But look, I think Celik would be a good acquisition, but maybe one for the summer. Maybe one for the summer to look at, and I think it would be a big disappointment for Tomiyasu to drop him like that.
So we're in the quarterfinal of the Carabao Cup against Sunderland, a game that we should really win. If we lost that game, I can imagine the meltdown. So we already, let's say we'll be in a semi-final of the Carabao Cup next year. I think this year it's back to 2 legs, if I'm not wrong, home and away. So we'll have a lot of fixtures there. We'll also have, if you like, fifth or sixth by then. We'll have a lot of Premier League games to maneuver to go through without most of our players as well, who will be at the African Cup of Nations. So if Tomiyasu drops down for 3 or 4 games, who would you bring in as your backup right back? Would you be happy with the guys we're going to bring in as backup right backs for those important games during that period? FA Cup, the start of the FA Cup, semi-final of the Carabao Cup, Premier League against Tottenham City in January.
Yeah, that's the big problem. That's the big problem, that we have the numbers, but you remember when I told you that all the players we have at right back, if you combine them, it was Bellerin, Chambers, Ainsley, and
Cedric.
And Cedric. They didn't make one proper, fullback, right? Remember when I told you that?
Yeah.
So now they have even decreased the number, actually. So my problem, and that's the only problem, that Cedric made tackles against Grealish and Foden and Jesus against City, and he didn't have a successful tackle in that game, right? That's my big problem now. Who comes in? Who comes in pecking order before the summer? Because, like I said, in the summer we don't. Before the summer, I don't see us going for right back. So would I be happier with any of them? No, not really. I would even, I think if Tomiyasu is out, I would rather switch to a back 3: Tierney, Gabriel, and Ben White, right? And then at least try to gamble in the midfield. But look, I think I don't know what to think, but my opinion about Chambers has changed a lot ever since I think the West Ham game. You remember that West Ham game last season where we came from behind?
What a game! Him and Odegaard were absolutely fantastic in that game.
Was it? Were we 2-0 down, 3-0 down, 2-0 down?
3-0.
3-0 down, yeah, absolutely. And then we came back. So I think, yeah, Chambers, because for me, Chambers has that that little bit of a centre back gene in him. So he would be literally giving us what Tomiyasu does. Because again, Chambers is not that kind of player that brings in 5 accurate crosses, per 90, or 6, accurate crosses per 90. No, yes, he's gonna come forward, maybe bring you 3 crosses, but again, he's more of that player who's a little bit skeptical. Do I go forward? If I go forward, where's the limit? I don't want to go too far to be exposed, and I don't want to go. I don't want to be too shallow because I need to be, a proper fullback. So I think I'd play Chambers and tell him, son, don't overexpose yourself. Just do what is enough. Get the ball and pass it on. That is enough. So I play Chambers. I just feel like Cedric has dropped too much. I don't know. When he had just come in, I was advocating for him, actually, because I think by that time Chambers was injured. Ainsley had failed to nail down at least to 1 or 2 good performances in that area, and Hector Bellerin was even failing to take throw-ins properly. So I said, give Cedric a chance. But I just feel like he's dropped too much. The defensive part of the game where he was strong, I don't feel it anymore. Going forward, I've seen him have the courage to stand on our free kicks. That is a lot of courage for a defender. You've got to be good, like the likes of Trent, to do that. But I've seen him have the courage to do that. I don't see that enthusiasm anymore from him as a player. I think honestly, January might be an outlet for him. I don't think he has really much to fight for. I think January or the summer should be an outlet for him to find where I gets game time. So Chambers is the player I would play. If you're playing City, throw in Chambers. If you're playing Chelsea, throw in Chambers, and you never know. Pray for a good performance.
I mean, since you said you should turn back to a back 5, that shows you how not confident you are in them. So I've seen all your comments. Koki, Lamine, H90RK, GGMU TV will come to all your comments after we talk about this second topic, and that's Raheem Sterling to Arsenal. We talked about this guy almost the whole of the summer transfer window. At that time, no one expected him to come to Arsenal anyway, and most of us were like, if we were Sterling, probably wouldn't move to a very disorganized Arsenal side. But things are looking a little bit better from 5 months ago, 6 months ago. Raheem Sterling to Arsenal. Now, I saw you did a show on Raheem Sterling, and I did hear you say he's been dropped by Pep Guardiola and not because of his form. I actually think at the end of last season, like for the last 3 months, he was not good at all. I was even saying he does not deserve a spot in the Euros. I was actually one of those people who said he does not deserve a spot in the Euros. Obviously, he went to the Euros and did very well, helped England to the final, but I did not actually think he deserved it. I thought the players like Foden and Saka were all ahead of him. But he's back in the radar for Arsenal one more time. Obviously, he played under Mikel Arteta. They actually did say Mikel Arteta helped him a lot to develop him alongside Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. So, Raheem Sterling, the first question is, right now, if you're Raheem Sterling, the World Cup is coming next year. You're not playing at Manchester City. Do you think moving to Arsenal would be a good move?
I would, I would go to Burnley.
You'd go to Burnley?
Even if it's Burnley, I would go. Okay. Let me tell you something about Raheem Sterling. And you've asked the best question. You should be asking questions in the Mikel Arteta's press conference, because at times these guys ask questions and I'm really pissed off. Look, Raheem Sterling's aim is, because he's not getting any younger, if he can play in World Cups, I think this could be his last one or second last, right? Because he's 26, 27, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 27, after 4 years, he'll be 31, right? So high chances are that there will be talent that has surpassed him, the likes of Foden, the likes of Grealish, that will be their show. So this is Sterling time for England, and you can see how good he is. When he's given the opportunity, he's actually performing for them. Look, if I'm Sterling, I would even go to Burnley, because look, he already has enough credit in the bank, with Southgate, right? His account with Southgate is secure. He knows he's gonna get that call up, right? Because definitely he's one of the best players, best performers for England, and we've seen him, perform at a high stage on a big level in the Euros until the final. So look, no problems. I think he will be called up for England. But I said this as well, that the gaffer Gareth Southgate has a lot to work with, or to work on at the moment. There is pressure from Arsenal fans because they feel like they have 4 players who need to be called up, and deserve to be called up, by the way, and they want them to start directly. Ramsdale over Pickford, Ben White over either Maguire or Stones, Emile Smith-Rowe over anyone of Foden or Sterling, or Rashford or anyone, and then and Bukayo Saka, who's been a little bit of a regular now, as compared to any of the players in his squad, in his team. So those are 4 players, but you have the likes of Conor Gallagher, who are also coming up slowly but very, very steadily. Probably by the World Cup time, he'll be undroppable. You'll have Colin. You have the likes of Calvin Phillips, who have been consistent. Declan Rice actually rising, not even consistent, but really rising. Very fast. So Gareth, Southgate has a lot of things to work on, right? And you don't want to make it very easy for him to drop you, and that is what Sterling is looking for. Yes, I'm doing well, when given the opportunity at England, but I need to play football, right? So that the manager knows I am active, right? Because you don't want to be, the last thing you want to be, you want to have is being dropped because of we don't think he has the right match fitness. Right, he's good, but we don't think he has the right match fitness because he not played for enough football in the last 6 months. So look, I think he will do whatever it takes. He might stay at City. I'm very, very optimistic that he will stay at City, but he will do whatever, and he should do whatever it takes to get game time. Whether moving to Newcastle on loan, or Arsenal on loan, or Barcelona on loan, I don't know. I do not know, but he should go to a club where he gets more time. And the fact that you say that his performances are dropped, I don't think. Okay, I said, and I said this, that I don't feel like his performances are dropped to a level where where it comes to dropping, because he's been one of the best players for Manchester City over the last half a decade, putting in double figures for 5 consecutive years. A player who's not a striker, and that is really impressive. Look, but I think City need to prepare for time, for life without him. They brought in Grealish now. They have Foden, around there, and these are direct competitors. So maybe he would love to run away from his competition, for some time. Like run from them, at City, and maybe meet the competition at England. But at the moment, he's dropping behind them at City, and the high chances he will drop behind them, on England. He doesn't want that to happen. Really doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I told you guys we'll be talking about Nicolas Pepe once again, and here we are. So, if you're told sell Pepe and bring in Raheem Sterling, is this something you'd be interested in considering? Almost, I think they're almost the same age, if I'm not wrong. Not that much older than each other. I think Nicolas Pepe is 1995. I think Sterling is around the same year. So not that much difference of 5 years between them. So is it something you'd be happy to do? And I've also put a poll in the chat. Make sure to vote. So far, 73% have said buy Sterling and get rid of Pepe.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Sterling's move to Arsenal could be a little bit expensive. I'm not really aware anymore of where his contract ends. Maybe 2023, 2024, around there. I think it's around 2 years. But look, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Because what Pepe should be providing is not even balance, but it should be, I don't know. We have Saka on the right, or on the right hand side of the pitch, who's young. So you have inexperience there. We need to balance the books, and that is what Saka Pepe needs to be providing. Saka is still working on his game, working on his crossing, working on his assisting, working on his goal scoring, right? But we know he's impressive. What we should be getting out of Pepe is more goals, more assists, and more maturity, right? He's not done that. He's not doing that at the moment. I think Raheem Sterling would do that. He would be able to give us at least 8 goals, per season. He would be able to assist around 8 times, and those are already double figures, if you want to say. But I also still think that he has the potential to hit double figures, to click double figures, both in terms of goals and assists. Because look, we have we have a side that has a prolific striker. If you give Aubameyang 50 chances in a season, at least he will score 10. At least he will score 15, right? However poor he is. I've already said that, one of the reasons why Aubameyang has dropped, yes, he might have the, mental health problems, family issues and things, but also are we creating enough? Right? How many chances is he getting, and how many chances is he missing? Apart from the Watford game, missing a penalty, missing a very a clear-cut opportunity in the first half where he should control the ball well, and as well overruling Odegaard's goal. Those are 3 opportunities, gone. But apart from that game, I think a player like Raheem Sterling, because look, Aubameyang is surrounded by a bunch of kids, right? And the goal of Arsenal with these kids is not to win something, but is to prepare them in order to be at that level where they can compete for something. Aubameyang is known to be prepared, so he needs the likes of Partey, Pepe, Lacazette, and maybe Tierney, and maybe the rest are kids, right? He needs them. If it is agenda silverware this season, right? Those are the players that should drive the agenda. Pepe, do you think Pepe can be driving agenda silverware really? I don't think, right?
Not at all.
Not at all. So I think the maturity that we want from Nicolas Pepe is just not there, right? It's not. And for me, I just look at him as they're players that demand more from themselves. I don't see that in Pepe. I mean, he could call a shot, go wide, goes wide, and then he smiles, and then he has that kind of boast that he really does. He's so free. I mean, it's like he doesn't have the genes of becoming a top class player in him. He doesn't push himself over the line, right? He's comfortable. Maybe coming from Lille, playing for Arsenal. I mean, you could be comfortable, couldn't you? Maybe he's comfortable.
So, Kozi says Sterling would add some goals, he'd add some assists, some experience next to Aubameyang and next to Lacazette. So, your answer is yes, sell Pepe and buy Sterling.
Yeah, absolutely, and the
So
winning
you're
mentality as well. That because we will need the winning mentality in the next 3 years when we start thinking about Europa League, Europa League finals again. Genuinely, because I think next year we can go to the quarterfinals. If we qualify this year, we can go to the quarterfinals next year. Probably next year, but one we should be thinking about winning it. But I think in the next 3 years, we'll be thinking about winning the Europa League as deserved winners, genuinely. So
yes, yes.
I think Sterling, also provides that on the table.
How much would you ask for Pepe, and how much would you buy Sterling for?
Yeah, there's a big problem there because there's a premium with Raheem Sterling. I don't think it comes it comes cheap. Look, Pepe, to be realistic, 35 million pounds, right? If anyone can give us that money, they'll be really generous. I think Newcastle should because they have the money. I mean, what are they using it for? But Raheem Sterling, I'll be willing to splash some between 45 to 55. I'll be willing to splash that because I think still has 4 years on his career, and I don't see him as that English player that is gonna be hit by the early ceiling because English players have that problem. They come in as real talent and then they are hit by that early ceiling. I think it's just gone above that, right? He was an exciting talent at Liverpool. He's come at City. He's done it. He's progressed. He's gone past that level where the Jack Rodwells failed. He's gone past that level where the Rossi Barkleys never became super good players. He's become a super good player. I think by 31 he'll be still playing some good football. So 4 years, I could pay some 50 million. 50 million for him.
Wow, 50 million. Okay, that sounds a lot. I saw someone in your chat section saying it's old. I don't think so, though. It's
Mm,
26. It's actually same with Pepe. 26.
yeah.
They're actually the exact
But
same. So,
that is, I think, if you calculate the English premium and all things like that, because he's a player at his peak, 26 years of age. That is when we expect you to be playing real football, isn't it?
yeah. So
Yeah, yeah,
if you're
absolutely.
saying, if someone says Sterling is old, basically you're also saying Pepe is old because they're the same exact age. So I don't think any of them is old. Still, like 5 good years to go for them in the Premier League. Hopefully, for Pepe's sake, hopefully improve. So that's the latest on Pepe, Sterling, and also Celik, or Celik as some would call him. So let's take a few of your comments before we go to the next couple of topics. Let's see. Cookie says Sterling is far better than Pepe. If he would come to Arsenal, that would be great. He also bigged up Smith Rowe, obviously making his debut yesterday. Congratulations to him. Emil looked very good in small amount of minutes he got. Good passing player on the team, qualified to cut, and now we hope to see start against San Marino. We'll probably see all three of the Arsenal players starting for England against San Marino. Mane says, my brother will keep Pepe and change his mindset and attitude and willingness. That's what he's missing. They have to talk to him. Do you think that's what he's missing? Do you think he literally has the quality and everything is just the mindset and the decision making?
Look, I think for the past 2 seasons, it's been at Arsenal. We've seen some glimpses of quality. You just feel like there is some quality player there, right? But he's been unleashed in a couple of styles. He's been unleashed with a couple of players. We've tried to unpack him. If it is a a pack, we've tried to unpack it. But I feel like there is some player, some good player there. I don't know why we are actually not getting the best of him. I just feel like there is a good player in Nicolas Pepe, right? Because the things he tries to do individually, as a player, collectively, as a team, there is some quality in there. You can never write an article about him and you all go negative, not good player, things like that. No. There is some talented player. There is talent in there. I don't know why it's not coming out. Mindset, maybe. Attitude. Look, I don't know. I really don't know because for me, when I look at Gabriel Martinelli, despite the fact that he's complaining about game time, when he comes in, he's running all over the pitch, right? He's working hard. I don't see that with Nicola Pepe. I don't know whether he needs to someone to help him work on his mindset, probably. But I just feel like
So
his problems a match
Okay.
of solving puzzles on the pitch rather than extracurricular activities. I just feel like his problems are solving passes on the pitch because it's too predictable. He does one, two step overs and the ball is taken. Where he needs to slow down, he doesn't. Where he slows, where he needs to be fast, then he slows down. I just feel like he needs to figure out his game on the pitch, right? At least hide the the predictability. Introduce that element of surprise to his game, probably. But I don't feel like we should be sitting in a debate saying that his mindset and attitude are really, really very poor.
So if you play FIFA, if you play PES, if you play Dream League Soccer, all that, there's a couple of times where you can add a player's certain aspect of the game, whether it's shot power, whether it's shot accuracy, whether it's strength on the pitch, whether it's so my question is, which two would you add for Nicolas Pepe if given the chance? Because for me, I'd give him decision making. Because sometimes I see him dribbling on our side and then he loses the ball, and I'm like, just clear the ball. Don't dribble in that position. Or when instead of crossing the ball, he decides to shoot off target. And then speaking of shooting off target, that's the second thing I'd add: shooting accuracy. Because sometimes those curved shots, they usually look very good, but they always go off target. So those are the two things I'd add to his game. What did you add? Two things you'd add to his game. Do you think is lacking?
One thing I would add to his game, I think, look, he loves running with the ball, doing his step overs. So probably I'll give him a better success rate, with dribbles. I'll give him a better, to beat defenders, because if he does that, and he finds himself in front of goal, he can't finish, right? At times he goes for the end post, at times he can't finish. I feel like, look, those long shots are not really working out for him. I think the last time we saw one, was it against Brighton? Was it against
Yeah,
Brighton?
that was
Yeah,
like the end of the previous season before last. Yeah,
yeah,
that was a long
exactly.
time ago. Also, last
Yeah.
season he did score against West Brom though at the end of the season.
Mm,
So a really,
mm,
really
mm,
good shot.
yeah. So, look, but one thing I would give him is, and I think he's really struggling with it, is the fact that he wants to take on defenders, but he's not beating them. That's the big problem, right?
Mm.
So if I can give him the ability to beat defenders, then decision making would be the other thing. Because again, at times I feel like he beats a defender, and instead of not taking a shot but releasing Aubameyang, he did it with during the FA Cup final. He released Aubameyang with a beautiful ball, easy but very, very beautiful, and Aubameyang with a cool finish. So I think decision making, but also success rate, with his dribbling.
Very, very good answers there. So again, in the comment section, let us know what attribute did you add to Pepe's game? What attribute did you add to Pepe's game? Which one do you think is lacking? HJ90 says, I give Pepe till the end of the season. IK says, how are you all doing? You're doing good. GGME TV says, Glazers out, Glazers in, all day. Cookie says Mikel should stop putting Pepe on the bench. As I've said before, a youth player would do better as a super sub. Pepe comes on, does some dribbling, and either gets tackled easily or shoots over the bar. So basically, what Cookie is saying here, cause is Pepe is not even good enough to be on the bench. He shouldn't even be on the bench. Players like Balogun should be on the bench ahead of him. Is it that bad? I don't think that's bad. The other thing about Pepe is when he was playing with these guys, Celik and Joseph Fonte at Lille, he used to play almost as a center striker. At
Yeah,
Arsenal, we see him hugging the touchline so many times. I see him next to Mikel Arteta and the other managers so many times in that position, which is not good. I've never seen Pepe getting a one-on-one chance. I've never seen Pepe getting a one-on-one chance with the goalkeeper. Have you ever seen that? Because at Lille, so many of his chances were like one-on-one chances with the goalkeeper. Do you think the position is also the wrong thing, like his positioning in the game?
Look, I think Lille were literally playing him as a support striker. They were literally, playing him as in that role where he gets. And I think last season, one of the things that actually helped him score was there was a way he was being placed closer to the box, right? At the end of the season, closer to the box, and I remember him really getting into the box on a couple of occasions. but that is gone. I don't know whether I don't know where the the lesson book, the lesson notes went for end of
Mhm,
season. Nicola
mhm.
Pepe, how to unleash yourself. I don't know where they've gone, but I think you're right. The way we are unleashing him. Look, if he plays like an Alexander Lacazette, if probably we should try him to play. You should try to play him in that role where Lacazette plays. These days, right? Kind
Yeah,
of
number
number
10,
10,
yeah.
but not kind of a number 10, but more of a support striker. And we see, because on the wings he takes a lot of time, and he's
Mm,
just not productive. But also think about the French League One. The French League One is known as tough. You don't have tough take-ons. Of course, look, there is a lot of talent down there. Not down, but in the French League One, there's a lot of talent. But the tougher take-ons are not there. Probably they're in Italy. Probably they're in the in the Premier League. In the Premier League, you're going to take on so many. This weekend, you take on Rhys James and Thiago Silva. Next weekend, you're taking on Trent and Virgil van Dijk. Then Soyuncu. Then look, it's a lot, right?
yeah.
It's a lot to take on place. So I think, because he's really good at scoring goals. I did see him score some goals off his head, at Lille. Probably we should try to place him closer, right? Yeah, but for me, that is again disrupting the
The
whole
team.
system to
Yeah.
find time to find where
Okay.
Pepe plays. I don't think he deserves it, honestly. Apart from the price, which is 72 billion, I don't think Pepe has done anything to deserve, disrupting a whole system to find where he plays. How about Emil has played there, and I don't think Emil is he really stretches the pitch, but he doesn't bring in so many these traditional crosses. How many times do we see him do that? How does Emil find himself in the in the box all the time? How does he find himself in the penalty area? How does he find himself, with those chances that he's, hitting on rebound? I just don't feel like we should be disrupting the whole system for Nicola Pepe. I don't feel he deserves it. I don't think he deserves it. And we are Arsenal Football Club. There is no player that is bigger than us.
Absolutely. So Kozi is not having it. Kozi is not having disrupting the team. How does Sterling get these chances in Arsenal's box? How does he get such chances in Arsenal's box? We want to see Pepe doing that as well. So let's see. Michael says great minds think alike. I think he was agreeing with one of your points on Sterling. Sheriff Benson Sheriff says Nicolas Pepe 19 calls him NP19 is Atita's favorite player. I don't think so. He doesn't play. I don't think he's Atita's favorite player. I think they're like 5-6 players ahead of him. I mean, if he was, he would have been playing. I'd say last season, you can say that about Willian. Last season, he was Atita's favorite player because he was playing even when he didn't deserve to play. But Nicolas Pepe, I don't think so, because he's now being dropped to the bench. He doesn't even come off the bench. And he won't be sold because he still needs time. He was on a very good run in the past season. Yes, at the end of last season, he did very well. We even did a prediction, I'm sure, with Kozi at the beginning of the season, and we even said he's going to be like Arsenal's second top scorer with 12 or 13 goals. I mean, he hasn't scored one, so things are not looking good. Also, Sheriff also says Sterling isn't a bad player at all, but as things stand, Arsenal isn't thinking about buying Sterling because of the age difference. Remember, Arsenal are planning a young generation team. I mean, in terms of comparison to Pepe, we say they're the same age, but in terms of now not recruiting players who are older, I could understand that.
No, but we just signed Partey last season, but one.
Yeah,
Last summer, one. And
I
Partey
think I
was
think I think they did that with also Willian, and then last season this season they're like, no, that didn't work. Let's just switch the strategy. That could be a very, very bad tactic. By the way, you go for one thing, and then after a couple of one season, you switch it up. Everything literally, they were moving from the experienced players to the young players within one season. So that in itself is concerning, but it has worked so far. Augustine says Pepe does not attack. Do you feel that way, Kozi? Does he not attack?
No, I just feel like his his success rate at in the final third is low, and that's why people are saying he doesn't attack. He does attack, but his success rate in the final third is actually what is frustrating. Really, really frustrating. But I think he does. I think he does get himself useful. He receives the ball in higher areas of the pitch. But his success rate when he tries to implement, no, he's not successful.
Cookie says Pepe wouldn't start at any team in the Champions League. He isn't capable of leading this club back where it belongs. Plus, he's entering his prime. This is his best. He has to go. So Cookie has had enough. And also another person who has had enough is Augustine. He says Pepe is now deadwood at Arsenal. Wow, deadwood at Arsenal. Mohammed says watching live from Sierra Leone. Thank you for that. Starling all day. Let's see. I'm optimistic Arsenal will surely qualify for the Champions League and possibility of winning the Premier League. Maybe in the next 4 or 5 years, hopefully.
I mean, the word optimistic means that you feel like you want to believe. You feel like you're in that you feel like you're in that feeling. Really doesn't mean that the chances are high.
Yeah. Cookie also says Celik is a very capable player, but Bellerin, Chambers, Ainsley, Cedric, and Tommy, that's 5. We can't have 6. Bellerin, Chambers, and Cedric would have to do. Tommy, Celik, and Ainsley would remain. So Bellerin is probably going to leave. He doesn't even want to come back. He scored an own goal last week, by the way, for Betis. Chambers, I think he won't be here next season. I think his time is almost same with Cedric. At least one of them won't be here next season. Tomiyasu will definitely be there. Ainsley will probably be there, but yeah, I'll speak about Ainsley in the next topic as well. So thank you for the comments. We'll come back to the remaining ones as well. Make sure to get in your thoughts on all the players we've talked about. The player we're going to talk about next, and you've been vocal about him a lot because he is Martinelli. So there are rumors about him being loaned out. He hasn't been getting game time. Last season, there's a time people are really complaining about Martinelli starting. I did not feel the same way as most of you were feeling last season. Like, let's play Martinelli. Martinelli has to play if you're going to beat Villarreal. I was not feeling that way. The main reason was because I was like, you know what, his injury. I feel like Martinelli plays 2-3 games in a row, he'll get injured again. That was the reason last season for me, feeling like I don't think Martinelli should play every single of our games. Maybe last 15, 20 minutes here and there. This season, obviously, there's no excuse. I think he's fit enough. He went to the Olympics. He's played a lot of games recently as well. Maybe not a lot, but a lot of minutes. He's been training every single day, basically, for the last 6 months. So Martinelli to be loaned out. Do you think that would be a good decision? Let's say loan him out for 4 or 5 months to Crystal Palace or Brighton. Let us see how he does there and then bring him back. I don't think the reason of loaning him out is to see how good he is. No, the reason of loaning him out is for game time. Do you think we should do that?
Yeah, I mean, like, you just hit it spot on. It depends on the reason, and the reason to loan him out is definitely not to find out how good he is, because we already know that. We already know that he's a good player, a quality young player. Now, his father came out and said that the player has been approached by a couple of clubs in Europe. However, Arsenal have refused. Arsenal have declined the idea of letting him go. To any of those clubs. So Arsenal have declined, apparently, which is something very, very good. But look, it depends, really. It really depends, right? Because one, if I think about Martinelli sitting on the Arsenal bench, no, he doesn't really deserve to be sitting on the bench without game time. I mean, what I'm asking Mikel to do, and why I'm really furious with Mikel, on the Gabriel Martinelli issue, is we are not the only club that realizes how good he is, right? And deep down, the player also knows, because he's done it at a high level in the Europa League, and there's a season where he's got double figures, right, for Arsenal. So he also knows that he's good enough. He's looking at Saka. He's looking at Emile Smith Rowe. Every after game, fans are chanting their names, right? Whenever he sees a fan putting on a jersey, there is Emile Smith Rowe or Saka at the back, right? But there was a time when it was Martinelli's name being sung, when he destroyed Chelsea, right? That run, right? And he's no longer hearing those chants. He's saying, probably I need to go somewhere else where I can, prove myself, and maybe I'll come back to Arsenal when things are right. Now, I do not agree with that, and I'm really happy if it is true, according to the father, that the player is not going to leave in January or in the summer or any time. I'm absolutely happy with that, because look, one, the players that we've been loaning out, we have not been successful where they've gone, right? Like, what I mean is that they've been successful, but they've not been successes in coming back and implementing what they got away. Willock signed for Newcastle. Guendouzi from Germany is now going to Marseille. William Saliba, high chances are that he will even never play for Arsenal because he's going to come
Yes.
back. And Arsenal formed a formidable defensive partnership. And he's saying, no, I don't want to sit on the bench. I'm not sitting on the bench. I don't want to be an understudy to Gabriel or Ben White, right? I want to be my own center back, and I need a place where I'm going to get the that place, right? So look, I don't understand how many substitutions is Mikel Arteta making per 90? 3, right?
Mm.
Martinelli should be one of them coming on, right? If Xhaka and Pepe play, Lokonga should be the other coming on. You could use your back four for 38 games with unchanged, unsubstituted. No problem with that, right? Unless you have a forced substitution, Martinelli should be getting 20 minutes, 15 minutes per 90. We've been winning games this season by half, by the hour mark, right? 60 minutes, we've been a little bit comfortable. Bring him on, right? Bring him on. Because the last 5 games we played, we've been absolutely progressive. It's not been defensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bring him on. Even if you decide to sit back and probably protect your win 1-0, it is okay. Bring on Martinelli because when you soak up the pressure and you need outlets, he's an outlet. He's one of the best outlets we have in the team when it comes to sitting back and being releasing players. He's a very, very good outlet. So no loan deal that I would accept and agree to. And the other thing is he needs game time, right? Look, I don't know whether Mikel is still thinking about the fact that is preparing him for some role. The only reason I would accept Martinelli to sit on the bench is if he's not doing enough in training or he's not actually performing at the level where Mikel wants him to. Because that could be probably like a message to him that, prove that you're better. We know that you're better, right? Get back to that level and then you'll be a starter. But for me, with young players, it's more about, and I said it yesterday in my stream, it's more about reinforcements than punishment, right? If you drop Leno, if you drop Xhaka because they got a stupid red card, if we drop Pepe like we have dropped him, I'm absolutely okay. Learn your lesson, fight for your place, right? But young players like Gabriel Martinelli, they have a lot to learn, and they learn these things through game time, through making mistakes. Actually, that is how they learn, right? So it's more like reinforcements. If he does something good, give him 5 minutes. If he does another thing good, add him some 2 minutes. Right. If he gets something if he gets a very, very good 10 minutes in the last game, give him 30 minutes in the coming game. Try to reinforce him, right? Because we know reinforcements can be very, very good, attractors of good behavior. But we are not even doing that. Who is coming on at halftime? Who's coming on at 60th minute in the 60th minute? Who's coming on at 70 minutes? Look, are we making substitutions if Martinelli is not coming on? I don't know. Now Lacazette and Aubameyang are playing together, right? So that means the Aubameyang Lacazette substitution is no longer mandatory. Then that means Martinelli should be at least one of those 2 players that come on 70 minutes in, 80 minutes in. I don't see why he doesn't take time.
So I'll play devil's advocate here. I heard you say using that term yesterday. Here I am now with mine. So the players on the bench. If we start with Lacazette, Aubameyang, Saka, Smith Rowe, Partey, Lokonga as of now, then the usual back 4 with Tierney on the left and then Ramsdale. So you say Martinelli should be the first one from the bench. So let me play devil's advocate. So Maitland-Niles will probably say, also me, I want at least 30 minutes per game. Let me come on for Partey so that he doesn't get injured. Let me come on for Tomiyasu or Troy Parker. I can play different positions. Odegaard can also say the same. Listen, I came here, you bought me. Let me come in for Lacazette in that position. Let me come in for Saka. Pepe will say, also me, I don't sit on the bench. Let me come in for Saka, let me come in for Smith Rowe. So we've already mentioned 3 players ahead of Martinelli that also really want to come on. So how do you deal with that situation? Do you give the one who deserves it most, or do you give the younger talent the chances?
The criteria is best gets it, right? That should be the criteria. Be objective, best guesses. Let's ask the players, the substitutions that we've had. The two that I've been impressed with is when Martinelli has come on and Martin Odegaard. Those are the two,
Yeah.
right? Those are the two substitutions I've seen. The rest have been replacements. Ramsdale replacing Leno, brilliant. Tomiyasu replacing all the long line of right backs that he found there, brilliant. Nuno stepping in for Tierney because Tierney is injured. He's been brilliant. Lokonga stepping in for Xhaka when Xhaka gets injured. He's been brilliant. Ainsley stepping in for Partey. Look, but if it comes to substitutions, we've done it for game management most of the times, and I think the two players that have done it that have done really well when brought in as substitutes have been Lacazette in the Crystal Palace game, followed by Odegaard. I think he's been really good when he's brought on ever since Lacazette started starting, and Gabriel Martinelli. Those are the three players that, unless it is for purposes of strong game management, right? We are playing Liverpool, we are leading 2-1. It is 10 minutes in the game, and you want to bring on Ainsley for Aubameyang or Ainsley for Lacazette. I would agree with that, right? I would agree with that. If it is Watford, look for a second goal. Look for a third goal. Yeah, And look, I was disappointed with the Crystal Palace game and the Burnley game, because in the Burnley game, we were suffocated, right? They were coming on to us. We invited them. They came on to us. They suffocated us, right? We needed an outlet. And the obvious outlet there is not Martin. We brought on Martin Odegaard. Odegaard works well when you are in possession. Bring on Martin Odegaard in a game like Brighton, where Brighton had almost 60% more possession. It didn't make any sense. So bring in a player like Martinelli, where we pump the ball forward, he runs, and we can gather numbers, right? We can stretch out of the suffocation zone. It's the same thing with the Crystal Palace game. The moment we concede goal number 2, I expect us to be very proactive. I expect us to be to put out all the guns, all the machines. But again, we go very slow. We go about it very slowly, and we are lucky to nick in a NICOLAS. I should have gone 2-1. They deserved the win because they did better in the second half.
Very, very good reasons. Again, bring the player where it's needed. If we are 2-0 ahead against Watford, we give him a chance. Let's get a third. If you're 2-1 down, bring in Martinelli and Odegaard. Let's see if you can get a goal. But don't bring in El Neni, let's say, when you're 2-0 ahead in the game, like against Watford, or 3-0, bring in El Neni again. Bring in Martinelli to try and get a fourth, and the game is open. I totally agree. So since you've said that, let's take a look at the fixtures, Cozy. So where would Martinelli be where would you expect Martinelli to be much of a difference in these games? Where would you expect to use him most?
First, at the moment, I wouldn't tamper with the starting 11, right?
Yeah.
To accommodate a player, right? Yeah. I feel like every player needs to progressively get themselves involved in the squad, so that when they come in, it's not a big change, but it's just a transition. So Liverpool, it depends, right? It depends. If we are losing 3-0 at Liverpool, 70 minutes, don't bring him on, right? Try to do some kind of damage limitation, right? And expect a back 5. So we'll actually talk about that, in the coming streams. So Liverpool, maybe no, right? Unless if he decides to start him, because with Martinelli, the good thing with Gabriel Martinelli is that Liverpool come onto us, they will suffocate us. So probably if he gives him the opportunity, start on the left-hand side of the pitch when the likes of Trent or Robertson, because they're flying wing backs, they're really adventurous. If they come in, let's exploit that space. I think he can be even more useful than Nicolas Pepe, right?
Would you start him against Liverpool, though?
Not really. Not really. Unless Mikel decides to go for change of strategy. But I know if he goes for change of strategy, you'll see Pepe. Honestly, you'll see Pepe.
So after that Liverpool game, we'll play against Newcastle 1 week later. But the interesting thing is we'll play against Newcastle on a Sunday, and then the game against Man United will be on a Wednesday. So 3 days later, not 1 week later, it will be 3 days later. So what do you do there? Do you rest Saka or Smith Rowe to play against Man United and play Martinelli against Newcastle? Or do you keep the same team, especially if you get a good result against Liverpool?
Look, I'm keeping the same team.
Yeah.
Newcastle, I'm giving him, whether we are losing or winning, I'm giving
Yeah.
him 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
70
Yeah.
minutes, bring him on, right?
Yeah.
Because, look, Newcastle, this is the time to take advantage of them. They're struggling. They brought in a good manager, decent manager. I still remember he caused lots of problems with Bournemouth at Arsenal.
Yeah.
There was that late kickoff that ended, was it 4-4 or 3-3, where Lucas, which striker was that?
Perez.
Yeah, Lucas Perez. Did he score a hat-trick?
No, he scored a goal, and then Sanchez scored, and also Giroud scored. But we also 3-0 down in that game, just like
It's one manager that opens up. It's one manager that really plays very good football, and he's gonna find around 3 or 4 players that he managed at Bournemouth, in this Newcastle team. So, but I would give Martinelli at least 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
At this moment, are you not worried about fatigue? Because 3 days later, we are traveling to Manchester United after one tough game at Liverpool. And as you say, the new manager, maybe the manager bounce like against Newcastle. Go again with the same team against Man United?
I would still go with the same. Look, these are young players. I know there's burnout. I know there's so many things like that. But these are still very young. These are, apart from Saka, who I think is one to take care of. The rest, look, how many games has Ben White played? Really, many games, not really. How many?
I think the back four you can keep the same. Maybe play Tierney and.
Yeah.
And then maybe Tavares, yeah.
The same with Lokonga. If Pate is available, the same with... Look, I would keep the same team throughout these 5 games. The same team.
And then where would Martinelli make the biggest impact for you then in these 5 games? You said Newcastle 20 minutes.
Yeah, Newcastle 20 minutes. I would start him all of them. I'm starting him on the bench, right?
Yeah, because I'd actually start him against Southampton.
Yeah, I'm starting him. All of them on the bench. Don't want to destabilize the structure. I've already given it credit because we have a structure now. So if no one, is a doubt, let him start on the bench. Southampton, look, actually Southampton, they've been more organized defensive wise because City failed to break them down. If I looked at that game, I was like, wow, they're really organized. Their problems have been in scoring goals on the other end, right? And they will struggle with us because we are also not easy to concede, as well. So it might be a game where you need some explosive players, so probably Martinelli, because you need some player that a player with pace, a player that can do something different out of the box. Martinelli can do for you that. And then Everton have also been suspect defensive wise. Considered 5 against Watford already.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
True,
they've been suspect. So if the tie is close, right, by 75 minutes, I bring him on. Try to because he's Brazilian, and I've seen him try to do the Brazilian way. But the other good thing I love about him is that he loves the direct part of football. Right, get a shot, take it away. Right. It's time to run. Let's do the running. I also love about him. So look, all those games, because they are compact, I do give him at least 10 minutes per 90 every game.
What about Pepe?
Maybe apart from the Liverpool game, where I think it's more of damage limitation.
Yeah. What about Pepe in this run? Because I don't think there's any manager who can start the same team from all these 5 games, even if they remain fit, because there's a chance that someone will get a booking somewhere, 5th booking of the season, and get suspended, obviously. So what about Pepe in this one? Where do you start him?
Pepe, I play him against Newcastle, I think. I play him against Newcastle. I would first see him with Aaron Van Bissaka, I think, at United, because Bissaka, you can really exploit him. You can really. But I mean, the good thing with Emil Smith Rowe and Bissaka is Smith Rowe, because to get around Bissaka is more of these give me the ball, I give it to you back, and then we get past Pisaka. Those forward passes, they really disturb him a lot.
Yeah.
He's poor at game reading. He's just good at sweeping and sweeping players around. So maybe Pepe might not do successful dribbles against Pisaka, but Smith Rowe and his tic-tackers 1-2-1-2s could actually work. Against Pisaka. So probably I wouldn't start Pepe against Manchester United. Would I start him against Liverpool? I think we shall need a lot of players that are really strong mentally and willing to work so hard for the team when we do not have the ball, so that we get back the ball and probably create some spells of possession. He loses the ball a lot, especially in his individual brilliance moments. So against Liverpool, we win the ball back for 5 seconds and lose it in the next 2 seconds because Pepe has lost the ball. No, maybe I would bring him to unlock the Southampton defense. I would maybe do that. And I also bring him against Newcastle because Newcastle, you could literally destroy them with anyone.
Yeah, so to give you a short answer for mine, I'd start the same team against Liverpool. Okay, not the same team. The thing I'd do is I'd bring in Tierney for Lacazette. So I play a back five. So Tierney, Tavares, and the usual rest of the 3 players at the back. And then hopefully Partey will be fit with Lokonga, and then I'll play Aubameyang, Smith Rowe, and Saka. And then for the Newcastle game, I'd actually rest Smith Rowe and play Martinelli against Newcastle. For him to be fit against Manchester United, they need him 100% against Manchester United. And then Everton probably keep the same team. And then Southampton again, start Martinelli or Pepe, because after that, I think we'll have Leeds and also a cup game against Sunderland. So we also don't want to just throw in Martinelli and Pepe after 7 games on the bench to just play against Sunderland. No, I don't want that. So last question on this, Man United, would you play a back 4 or back 5?
United, Ronaldo.
No.
So when look, I mean, you've got to give them the respect they deserve. They have a very, very great squad. They're in turmoil. We've been there before. I mean, if there is a club that shouldn't give United respect, it shouldn't be Arsenal, because we've been there before. We know what it is like. But the good thing is that they have the quality. Would I play? Do we need to change a lot? I would play I would still play my back 4, right? I would still play my back 4, but look, I would make it as long as I can make it as difficult. Because still in the back 4, United love running with the ball. If you don't give them spaces to run, if you don't give them a chance to exploit your back line, I think they will struggle. Really, they will struggle. I mean, Cristiano is going to be very hard to hold down. The likes of Ben White and Gabriel, they've been doing very well ever since the season started. But this is another kind of challenge. Which players have we played? Maybe Vardy and Vardy and Lukaku. Yeah, I think they played. But did they play Lukaku? No, they didn't. They didn't.
Like Chelsea, or are you talking about?
Yeah, when we played Chelsea, Gabriel was not in.
Oh, the players were not in. Now you didn't have our players. Yeah. Oh, so you're talking about the defense that the players that our defenders have played.
The partnership.
I think it's Vardy. Yeah,
Vardy, Daka, and then Wood and Cornet. No, not really. They have not really faced a big test. So, the likes of Rashford, the likes of Greenwood, and Bruno and Ronaldo are going to be a very big test. But I'll stick to my. Yeah,
even from next week, they have Mane, Salah. And Mane went off injured for Senegal yesterday, so I don't know if he's going to be fit next week. If he isn't, I mean, it can only be good news for us. So we'll keep it going for another 7 minutes before we end it. It has carried on for a bit too long, but we had so much to talk about, and we are still going to go throughout the day because I'll be on this channel in the next 1.5 hours. So I'll be there as well, and we'll keep the discussion going about everything we've talked about and anything else we need to add on to that. So you spoke about Ben White. How have you been impressed with Ben White so far? What's the one thing that has impressed you most about him so far?
The ability to play the ball and his willingness to adjust to aerial ability. I think when we said it in the summer that he's suspect, with aerial balls. But if you look at the success rate at which he's winning aerial duels, I mean, he's improved there, right? He's really improved, and no disrespect to and anyone who supports Brighton, they will tell you he was a little bit suspect there. But the other thing that he has added is the ability to play the ball. He allows us to play the ball from the bank, from the back, very comfortable. Now, it was either we get players that play comfortably from the back, or lose games because Mikel Arteta was not willing, to drop his strategy. So the good thing is that Ramsdale, Ben White, they give us that ability to play from the back, and his dribbles, he gives us that ability to, start our attacks at the center, at the center line, dribbles the ball until the center line, and then we can, he covers all that distance for us. So the likes of Partey, Lokonga can play a little bit, in advanced positions, and his ability in the air. I think we are really doing well in terms of set pieces and winning. Winning in the air. But I've also been happy with a few compromises he's done so that he can be, because many people do not realize that to have a very good centre back partnership, it's compromise. Players do compromise, a lot to have these good centre back partnerships. And many people many people will tell you, look, Kosi, the truth is these boys are just good, but good is also, can I leave this so that because my partner is better at that, and can I take this up because my partner is not good at that? I think he's done it well. You can see Gabriel has given up the responsibilities of the fun of dribbling the ball as a Brazilian into the final third of the opponent. He's given up on that. Ben White is taking it up and is helping Gabriel in the air very well. Yeah, I think. Look, the photo that we saw of them, facing back to back, it could work, right? It could work. I mean, Mikel needs to teach them so many things, and I think it's going to take 2 to 3 good years of them playing consistently together for us to have a refined, finished article, right? It's going to take 3 years, right? And I think both of them will be 27, not 27. 3 years, they're 23 at the moment. Both of them will be 26, right? So at 26, I expect them to be a formidable centre-back partnership that if you don't sell them, because when you're under Cronky, anything can happen.
I mean, perfect. So the reason I asked you about Ben White before that, wait just a moment. RK, thank you for the super chat. We saw your super chat. Really appreciate it. She said, "Great stream, Glenn and Cozy." We'll read the other comments at the end. I appreciate that. All these super chats, every contribution really helps helps all of us improve the channels. And also another thing that helps improve the channel is if you smash the like button. So make sure to hit the like button if you have enjoyed the content. So Ben White, the reason I'm asking about Ben White, because I did ask you a question on your stream a couple of days ago, and the question was, do you think we need a centre back in January? So if you see that run of fixtures there, let's say Gabriel, I don't even know his situation in Brazil. I don't know if he'll need to sit out the Liverpool game. I'm not sure how it has worked out with the restrictions. I don't even know. But if, let's say, Ben White gets his 5th yellow card against Newcastle or a red card against Newcastle, would you be happy with whoever comes in against United and Everton away from home?
If any of my centre backs gets an injury, right?
Okay, let's not use injury. Let's say red card, 3 games out.
I'm switching to a back 5.
You're switching to a back 5. So you're bringing in Tomiyasu,
Gabriel, and Tierney, right? Or Tierney, Ben White, and Tomiyasu, right?
So you're not bringing in any defenders from the bench.
Pablo Mari, look, unless Pablo Mari only plays easy games, right? That man is not a big game player. Romelu Lukaku. Look, I still remember that Romelu Lukaku, chance that Leno really made a very good save of.
What a save!
Lukaku literally tells, I think he's Mason Mount. He tells Mount, place it here, right?
Yeah.
And look at that tapping, and look at how calm Rob Holding is. He's like he's had a tapping.
Yeah, like that was a hard game to watch. That was a tough period, being an Arsenal fan.
In the second half, Lukaku literally tells Mason Mount, "Put the ball here. Put the ball here.
I will get it. I will get it."
I'll get it. And Murray is literally in a position where he obstructs Mane. So I think Mari is going to get to the ball fast. I'm surprised that Lukaku gets to the ball fast because he has time to solicit enough power to put on the header, and Mari has not arrived there.
Yeah.
But the goal Lukaku scored, because Lukaku has the ball, and then I think he turns and releases it for Rhys James. Then he runs with a lot of power and pace.
He hits Pablo Mari again. Yeah.
Pablo Mari is on the floor.
Yeah, I see why you're not bringing in Pablo Mari to your team. Lukaku had 8 shots on that day. Since then, he has only scored 2 more goals. So that means that defending that day was very bad because he hasn't scored 20 goals since then. If he had scored 20 goals since then, you'd be like, Lukaku is just very good. But since then, he has not dominated any team like that. Like against Van Dijk, he struggled. Against someone else, he struggled.
Actually, I think many people, many people say that it was a Lukaku Van Dijk, head-on. I feel like it was more like Lukaku and Matip, because for me, Matip is a very, very clever centre back. Really, one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. I don't remember Lukaku putting his arm on Joe Matip. No,
not a chance.
I don't remember Lukaku, splinting. And Mari is chasing him. Sorry, Matip is chasing him. No,
never.
It was Lukaku was completely. Look, of course, you have to put into consideration the fact that Liverpool was so good in that game, and the red card as well, which was well deserved. Although people don't want to call it, I think it was well deserved because Rhys James. That's not the way you put out. You're not a goalkeeper.
Well,
really, you should buy gloves if you want to be one. So, really, Mari, no. Rob Holding, Raheem Sterling, one of the shortest players in the Premier League, combined with Diogo Jota, scored powerful headers against Rob Holding. Come on. Look at him. No, look at Bellerin.
we have never deleted these pictures. These pictures are always there for referrals, because I always know we are going to refer to this.
Look, because I'm looking at that banner. I'm saying, why is Bellerin jumping at that distance? Like, what is he trying to do?
Jumping, I know. I have no answer to that question.
Look, and Rob Holding, I think he should be he should be the man to stop this, right?
Yeah.
But and in all instances, he's so calm. He's like, oh, he started it. That's a good header. Right? Jota, right?
Yeah.
Jota headed. I think was it 1-1? Was it 0-0? Was it 1? I think it was 0-0.
0-0. Yeah.
0-0.
Yeah.
And Jota, one of the shortest players again in the Premier League. Look, he's so good with headers because his positioning as a Rome Deuter is so good. No problem. But Jota actually jumps so high, higher than Rob Holding, right?
Yeah,
and then on top of that, he has time to get a free header with a lot of power on that header, right? To an extent that Leno punches it and it doesn't go away. Rob Holding, look, no, I'll go back.
So you'd switch on back 5. So that was the question. If Ben White gets a red card or Gabriel or someone, who would you bring in? Because it turns to a back 5. But the problem with turning to a back 5, because it means you're depending on Tierney to stay fit for at least a month. But would you bank on that? Not sure. So would you sign a centre back in January? No. So
definitely not. No, definitely not. Definitely.
Because that's not a pressing position.
Absolutely. I just don't feel like it is among the hierarchy. Top of the hierarchy. Sorry, it's among the hierarchy, but not top.
Okay, let's take your last comments and then we end it. Augustine says Pepe is a disappointment to Arsenal. Sherry says with Thomas Partey's case, the need was there because we needed a box-to-box midfielder too. That role wasn't filled. That's why the team was losing important fixtures. If Arsenal can get Zakaria and Isaac in January, you can get top 4. Do you think it's straightforward like that? Get Isaac and Zakaria. I watched both of them yesterday. Isaac against, I think he was playing against Georgia. They lost, and Zakaria against Italy yesterday. Do you think it's straightforward as that? They join and you're winning the game?
Look, Alexander Isak is not one player that comes in and it's going to have a massive impact already, right? He might actually come in and score 2 goals in the Premier League. The same with any striker, right? The same with any striker. I think what Arsenal need to do to get top 4 is to keep the consistency burning. If we can do that, right?
Yeah.
But it's all about keeping the consistency burning. It's not all about bringing in new players that you think, look, yes, the new signings have done well, and I'm really on the side of Arsenal fans trying to feel like if we bring in a new player, we get to a higher position. But it's not like that. Look at how Liverpool have built their team and for how long. The same with City, the same with Manchester United, the same with Chelsea, and the quality they have all together. They're better than us. Look at how West Ham have put their snow, because our direct rivals at the moment are West Ham, right? Yeah, they're our direct rivals, West Ham. Look, Brighton, yeah, they will win. They will lose some 2-3 games, and they will forget about the fact that they've ever been in top four consistently for some 2 weeks. The same goes to. I think the same will go to the likes of Brentford, who've been challenging us. But don't forget Leicester City. They've started picking up some fire, right? If they win 3 consecutive games, they're back in it. Everton, under Rafa Benitez, they've struggled, but they started well. If they can get their run back, they're back in it. So, look, it is top 5, guys. It is top 5, top 6, top 4. Let's build a system that can compete next season.
Awesome. A lot of comments coming in, especially on Facebook. Dennis says, tell me more about Sterling joining Arsenal. We'll finish with that. Jonathan says we shall win the next match by hook or crook. So the thing is, don't go into the Liverpool game expecting to win. That's the first mistake we can be doing. Let's not go into that game expecting to win. Let's give them the respect, as Kosi said about Man United as well. Give them the respect. The first show of respect is, first of all, you go there and you play a back five, because Salah just won goal of the month. He just won player of the month. He should really have won player of the month for September as well, because I think he had like 9 goals in this one month by itself. You cannot give him Tavares alone to mark him. You have to give him Tierney and Tavares, both of them. So show them respect. Let's have a performance. Let's not get hammered 5 goals like you usually get done there over the years, with Torreira falling on himself, Rogic falling on himself, Mustafi giving away the ball to Mane. Let's not do that. So let's go into that game hoping for a good performance. We do take a loss here, but 2-1 loss, 3-1 loss with a good performance, fine, and then we move on from there. Mohammed says this is
Ainsley McNair is not believing.
It's because he wrote E, so I was like, E, who is E? I thought Emil, like, so Ainsley AMN won't be leaving Arsenal. Martinelli won't be leaving as well, thinking about the renewal of contract. I think one of them will leave at the end of the season. Maybe Martinelli on loan or Niles permanently. Martinelli won't be going out on loan. And then let's see. Okay, maybe because he can answer you this. What's the latest about us not signing a new striker?
But just before that,
Nketiah
doesn't need a loan spell, guys. Nketiah doesn't need a loan spell.
Nketiah
needs to be sold. That's it.
Yeah,
and the latest around. Yeah, the latest around Arsenal getting a new striker is still very difficult. We are looking at Dusan Vlahovic from Fiorentina. All the reports that we are not interested in the player have been squashed by Fabrizio Romano. There is interest, and we are monitoring the situation of the player together with Spurs. However, there are no agreements at the moment, like it was reported earlier by Dimasio, and there are no talks between us and the agents. But it's a difficult one that could be done in the summer. The same with Alexander Isak. We have a lot of interest. Today at in the next around 30 minutes at 5, I'm going to be discussing Victor Osimhen, again another player that has been linked with Arsenal. So we've been linked with Osimhen as well, and Lacazette going to Manchester City probably is one of the worst stories you can ever even think about. So I mean, we are looking out for a new striker at the moment. Many people believe that this year Everton, Calvert-Lewin is leading the rest. I don't believe that, basically because I don't really see how he's leading the rest to join our club. But look, there are reports that he's leading the rest. But look, there's a lot of talk around strikers and things like that because it's the international break. I'll believe more of these stories if they continue even after the international break.
100%. I hope Emmanuel, your question has been answered as well. He said, Mark Mohia, strong Ghana fan. I want to know more about Arsenal transfer news. So as you've heard, because he's saying also we've been talking about Sterling being linked to Arsenal. We've talked about Martinelli probably going out on loan. So more of these stories will come in as we head into December and also middle of December. Then these stories will pick up pace. But as of now, As I said there, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, thank you everyone for watching. Emmanuel, Jonathan, Sherry for all the questions. Augustine, RK, Mr. HD90, Leon, Cookie, Michael, GGMU TV. Thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Cozy, for coming on. His link is in the title. Make sure to follow him. Subscribe to him as well. Subscribe here as well. I'll be on his channel in the next couple of hours.
But before that, I'll be live in 30 minutes at 5. So
Yep.
you could just you could just check on the channel live in 30 minutes discussing Victor Osimhen, Lacazette to Manchester City, and the Raheem Sterling boost that has been reported. Apparently.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Joel. We're just ending it, but you can watch it on replay as well. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.